Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Link Between Worlds Randomizer. I think we should be getting started soon. Looks like they're cropping up the things. So I think this is the first time I've seen AeroRaiser racing. I might have missed one of their races before. Seb has gone through a few races. I think they are 2-1 right now in their record. They came out with a bang in the first match, getting the first sub 2 hours of the tournament. I also have Substream open to look at their second screen, and it looks like they went with the name Lonk, the classic speedrun file name for Zelda. And it looks like from the little menu here that there's a small chest at the top of Hyrule Castle. So our runners most likely will not be trying to get that chest. Oh. And on Substream, he started, but we'll wait a moment. But it looks like there's a hammer and a glove in the shop. The glove is definitely nice. Yeah, so this isn't exactly a remake of A Link to the Past, but it's more of like a spiritual successor. It takes place in the same world, but and it has a lot of the same dungeons and things, but there's some differences. So we could see them getting their hammer, and immediately Seb's gonna buy the rupees. If you don't have enough money, you can, for something in the shop, you can buy the first item for free. So Seb's gonna go look around at some more rupees. And getting the glove early and the hammer means that they could potentially go like right up to Tower of Hera fairly easily. Oh, and there's the lamp. So they can also do the sanctuary area right away. So this is a good selection of items. Our runners are probably going to do the basic route of doing the checks along CAC, and then maybe going up Death Mountain, depending on what they get in CAC. Yeah, kind of like a continuation. There's definitely a lot of parallels, but they play fairly differently, in my opinion. We got a big chest in here, the boomerang. It's not the most useful item, but it's useful to have. The blacksmith cave has a piece of heart. It's good to know. And we see Hera going right away to save woman from the cries of the Mai Mai on her roof. Treacherous Tower has a silver rupee, so our runners won't be going for that. And woman just has a piece of heart this time. And in the well, Seb is going to find a monster horn and the fire rod. Okay, that's also really nice to have now. there's a big chest inside the jailhouse there, so when our runners have merged, they'll come back for that. So from Seb's stream of the 3 dungeons in Hyrule, it looks like House of Gales is the only one with the portrait. So in order to win the randomizer, you have to collect 7 portraits, and they're placed randomly throughout Hyrule and Lorule. And AeroRaiser got the sand rod from the fortune teller. Seb right after them. And Seb's gonna go up into the Lost Woods and check some of these chests. They're not able to get the chest right now, but they're gonna go and grab them. And this will also lead them nicely to Rosso's cave, where you need the hammer in order to enter the cave. So this makes more sense. And so in this tournament race, there is something called chest size matches contents on. So big chests have a progression item or something that you probably want. And then little chests have junk, so like heart pieces, rupees, etc. And so our runners will probably be getting small chests at first, just to get some life and money built up. But then later on in the race, they'll just start ignoring the little chests just to save the time of opening them when you don't need them. Okay, so there's the first part of Ravio's bracelet. One of the main mechanics in this game is called merge, where you merge into walls and you can move along the walls and stuff. And in the randomizer, there's 2 parts that you need to get. You need to get the first part of Ravio's bracelet and then the second part. And so Arrow found the first part here. And then these ghosts can be a little tricky with the fire rod. And AeroRaiser's only down to half a heart right now, so they're going to need to be careful not to get hit by this ghost. There we go. Oh, nope, the ghost is still alive. Another thing with this game is the stamina meter. So there's all the items, they don't have like you don't have like a certain number of bombs or arrows. Everything uses stamina. And so it's nice, but it also means you have to manage your stamina carefully. And so there you had to see AeroRaiser wait around a little bit before being able to use the fire rod again. And Seb's gonna opt not to go through and complete the sanctuary and leave. Yeah, the Dark World enemies hit pretty hard. Some of the bosses especially hit like a truck. So Seb's gonna go buy the lamp now. And it looks like AeroRaiser is probably gonna do the same. Seb's also gonna grab the heart piece here, which makes sense. And so Seb's gonna go up and grab the heart piece over here. Eastern Palace is on the path to Argus. So Argus is the boss for Swamp Palace, so that tells us that Swamp Palace is required. So our runners will need to find the flippers and hookshot in order to beat Swamp Palace. And so potentially one of those 2 items is in Eastern Ruins, or an item that would lead to one of those 2 ruins. That's how the path hints work in this randomizer. Eastern Peg Circle was a red rupee. I think that's what it said. And here we see AeroRaiser using the boomerang to just kind of stun the enemies to run by them. And there's the smooth gem. The Smooth Gem is a trade quest item that you need to give to Queen Orin, and she will give you something. But something else with this randomizer is that you will need to save Queen Orin through getting her portrait. And so we can't do the Queen Orin check until we have the Queen Orin portrait. So potentially that means Flippers or Hookshot could be behind Queen Orin, which is kind of a big deal. But for now, we see AeroRaiser going into Eastern Palace. In dungeons, big chests will also contain keys. Oh, Queen Orin has a sword. Okay, so we just got that hint. Still a pretty important item that Queen Orin holds, so we'll want to try to probably try to find her portrait and give her the Smooth Gem. And here we see Seb just tanking some damage. And so we know from what we saw on Seb's stream earlier that Eastern Palace is a pendant dungeon, so it's not required that we beat it. But Eastern Palace does have a lot of checks, and so it's a pretty profitable dungeon to just complete early, especially since you don't need a ton in order to beat it. Yeah, for sure. So we see AeroRaiser making their way through here. And Seb is thwopping these guys with the hammer. Trying to line up a couple of them together, but he's just going to go after them one after the other. And then AeroRaiser's going into the mini-boss room, fighting some more Armos. And the hammer just crushes these guys. Okay, so this is a big chest. Our runners haven't gotten the big key yet, so this could potentially be the big key, but it could also be something that we want, like the ice rod. It's a very useful item to have, especially in here where you can use the ice rod to hit some switches in order to access the boss room. Our runners do have the second small key for Eastern Palace, so that's not necessarily required, but it's useful. So here we see Arrow going to fight these guys. It looks like it might be a vanilla big key situation here. So there are 3 of these skeletons. They can be kind of tricky to fight without the sword, but the pots do one-shot them, so looks like that's what Arrow's going to do right now. So here we see Seb using the ice rod to conveniently hit some of these switches. Oh, I was hoping that when it would go back, it would hit both of the switches. That would have been sick. That's a little chest. We'll see. Seb wants that. It looks like they do. And so, our runners haven't found the second part of Ravio's bracelet yet, which means that they won't be able to do the escape portion of this dungeon, which contains 2 chests. But then there is a third merge chest at the entrance also. So it seems like our runners won't be able to get all of the checks unless Yuga has the bracelet. And here we see Seb just using the pots. And it looks like Arrow's deciding not to go and fight Yuga for now. I also just noticed that Arrow didn't pick up the scoot fruit, unless it's cropped off of their tracker. It looks like their tracker actually might be cropped a little funny. But we see Seb use the scoot fruit there to just get on out of there. It is possible to fight Yuga with the equipment that they have. You can use the boomerang as the ranged weapon and then hit them with the hammer. But this also makes sense. There's a good amount of chests up Death Mountain that you can go and try to grab. And Seb is going back into... Oh, Seb got the Titan... Oh, they both got the Titan mids. I totally missed that somehow. And there's Seb found the Ravio's bracelet. How did I miss them finding the bracelet? Finding the Titan's Mid is what I meant. Now Seb's gonna go up here and bump into the Shady Guy. The Shady Guy will unlock 2 checks. Ravio shop is on the path to Knuckle Master. So that could be referring to the lamp, the hammer, or the bracelet. I mean, or the power gloves. So honestly, not the most particularly useful hint. It looked like there was another Ravio shop hint there. Our runners did find Sand Rod, and they have Titan's Mitts, so they're able to do Desert Palace currently. Yeah, the merge mechanic is definitely really interesting. There's a lot of cool things that you can do in the game with that. And it looks like that chest was the B badge. It's not a particularly useful item. It means the bees will fight enemies instead of try to attack you if you find them under bushes. So it doesn't really do anything. And the Tornado Rod. So the Tornado Rod is something that we need to do House of Gales, which is a portrait dungeon. Nice items are not in the pool. Nice items are with Mother Mai Mai. But our runners most likely won't be collecting Mai Mai's to upgrade their weapons. Some runners have done it. But we'll see. So Seb's gonna go up Death Mountain now. And these guys are beating Seb up a little bit, so he'll need to be careful. Squished that one good. And now Arrow's going to find their own bracelet, so now they can merge. No heart piece in those pots for Seb, unfortunately. And it looks like they might try to hunt for a heart piece with those pots before trying to run through here. But they're just going to go for it. They're not afraid. Arrow getting their own B badge. Seb dodged those rocks nicely. Not a heart piece, unfortunately. The Great Rupee Fairy has mail. So the Great Rupee Fairy is a check in the game where you have to give her 3,000 rupees and she'll give you something. And she does have something this time, so she's not a complete scam, but I don't think our runners are going to be going for that. Oh, and here's another sword. So we know that there's a sword here and then a sword with the Queen Orin. So once when they find her portrait, they'll be able to upgrade their sword. Here's another big chest. Oh my gosh, there's so many swords flying around now. So now that Seb has a Master Sword, they could go through Hyrule Castle and defeat Yuga in order to access Low Rule that way, if they're not able to find Quake before then. Another benefit of accessing or fighting Yuga in Hyrule Castle that way is that it'll let you skip the trial section and basically go to the boss because it creates a warp point to the throne room. And so sometimes that can save more time than going through the trials. So it's definitely worth considering. And a heart container. Seb's going to be very happy to see that. Get up to a little more tanky. And Arrow's going to pick up a shield. They don't have a sword yet, so they can't use a shield, but when they have a sword, they'll be able to use the shield. Hyrule Castle Throne is a purple rupee, so that check references Impa's portrait. You won't be able to get that check until you get the Impa portrait, but we know that it's not a worthwhile check to pursue, so we don't care about the Impa portrait now. So now Sebas is going through the Tower of Hera. This is also another pendant dungeon, so not required, but it's pretty quick to do, and it has a decent amount of checks, so Seb barely missing the platform there. And Arrows found their swords, so now they can actually use their shield. There's the big key. Seb's got to be careful. If he accidentally hit the spike there with the spin attack, then that would have knocked him off the platform. I have done that way too many times while waiting to go through auto-scrolling parts. Aero finding their own Master Sword. And grabbing some Mai-Mais. It looks like they are thinking about maybe getting some, at least 10 Mai-Mais to upgrade something. The items that are worth considering upgrading are probably Nice Bombs, just because they do so much damage. As well, I do like having an upgraded Ice and Fire Rod. And Seb accidentally hanging off the edge of that, so not able to swing the hammer down. Aero finding their own heart container. They're sitting at a very healthy 6 hearts right now. That's generally what I try to aim for before I start prioritizing little chests a little more, but I'm also kind of a greedy player, so... And Seb is using the sword beams to hit these switches. That was a little chest, so Seb's gonna ignore that one. And make their way up to the boss. And it looks like AeroRaiser is just getting the Weather Vane. Which I think makes sense. Seb didn't really get a whole lot out of this dungeon. So it seems like that decision to ignore Tower of Hera for now will pay off. How soon until overworld models match the items? I am not sure. There's only a very small development team with this randomizer, so we'll need to be patient for some of those kinds of things. And Seb got the stamina scroll from them. The stamina scroll is required for 1 check, but it's also just a nice thing to have. I think Seb was definitely hoping for more than just the stamina scroll. And it looks like Aero's deciding not to go through Hyrule Castle right now. I'm gonna look around in Lorule before committing to the... Look around before committing to Hyrule Castle and going into Lorule that way. And oh, I thought Seb was maybe going to consider the Flippers dungeon. It looks like they are going into there. The runners are doing their own tracking. We don't have any trackers. There's a big chest up there, so we'll need to go and merge over to there. And Seb found the pouch, which is nice to have. It lets you have your second button so that you can have 2 items equipped instead of just 1. And then Seb's going to make their way over to the Cuckoo dungeon, treasure dungeon, which can be kind of frustrating sometimes, but it's not too bad. They'll need to land on the small platform with the silver rupee. And Seb got it first try. Nice job. And it looks like Seb is now going to go into Hyrule Castle, which I think makes sense. No, the text is just a little fuzzy. It looks like a TH to me, so Tower of Hera. Oh, okay. Yeah, he must have noticed that and fixed it. And so there are no checks in Hyrule Castle. So you're just trying to rush through this as quickly as you can to go and fight Yuga. It looks like Seb doesn't have Ice Rod marked. I think Seb got the Ice Rod earlier. You can use the Ice Rod to kill the red guy up there. I would agree, Ivan. This is definitely one of the best Zelda games. And it's just unfortunate that it came out on a 3DS. Like, as much as I do like the 3DS, I think the game would have got more attention if it came out on a different console. Yeah, the silver ruby in the cave was supposed to be a random item. I don't remember what it was. I think it was junk. Yeah, so currently the randomizer is in beta, and so there are some tweaks being worked out, like overworld items matching. And like cosmetic features and things like that are also missing still. But even with those, the randomizer is a ton of fun. It's not. It's like a more of a spiritual successor to A Link to the Past. So it takes place in the same world, and it has a lot of the same kinds of dungeons, and locations and things. But otherwise, like, it's a pretty different game, in my opinion. And so it looks like we're seeing Arrow deciding to go play through Tower of Hera. And so in this Yuga fight, there'll be Yuga illusions hopping around, but it's whichever Yuga has the torch lit will be the real one. So you just need to go up to that one and hit it. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it, Lord Kiance. Oh, it was also a silver rupee then? It does randomize, but that's funny that it was a coincidence both times. Diamethus. And so since Seb went through and did the Hyrule Castle Yuga fight, they'll be able to skip the trials later, which could potentially save a lot of time. And it's also just nice to have that as an option. And so this will give you access to Central Hyrule, which will let you do both Thief's Hideout as a dungeon and Swamp Palace. Let me look at Seb's stream to see which of those are required. Looks like they're going right into Thief's Hideout, and so I missed the chance to see the low world map before they went into Thief's Hideout. But Thief's Hideout definitely makes a lot of sense. There's a ton of checks in Thief's Hideout and only 2 keys, so if you see a big chest in Thief's Hideout, there's a pretty good chance that it's something you might want. And so the big thing our runners are looking for right now is the Quake item, which opens up the cracks that'll let you teleport in between Hyrule and Lowrule. Other things, hookshot, we know Argus is required from a path hint, as well as flippers. Bombs are another thing that opens up a lot of checks. Yeah, I think in some ways it's a sequel, but to me it feels like its own kind of game. But I'm also like not super experienced with A Link to the Past. Definitely a lot of references and things though. And it looks like Arrow's trying to remember where the other key was, or nope, okay, they're moving on. And so our runners don't have bombs, so they're going to have to use these progression items, progression enemies, that basically act like items. There is a setting in the randomizer to turn those off if you want a more like challenging experience, but reimagining is a good word to use also. So it looks like it might be a potentially vanilla small key in order to get the thief girl out. So Seb is going to have to go fight the mini boss, which is pretty spooky with only 4 hearts and green mail, but I think they can do it. Yeah, these Eyes Gores can do a lot of damage. And Alright, so it looks like Seb is deciding not to finish out Thief's Hideout for now. Yeah, they're gonna scoot Fruit out. Meanwhile, AeroRaiser just defeated the Tower of Hera boss and is gonna grab their own stamina scroll. And so now I can see on Seb's stream, it looks like all of the low rule dungeons except for Palace of Darkness are required. So the items that we're missing for that are hookshot and flippers, I think. And bombs would definitely be useful to have. I'm trying to think if bombs are required. Oh, there we go. Seb found the Quake. So now Seb will be able to access Low Rule much easier. That's a small chest, so we won't be needing bombs for that check. The Low Rule bomb trial, one of the bomb trial chests in Low Rule was a piece of heart. So the Quake is actually not really a story item. The Quake is something that happens throughout the story, but it was created as an item in the randomizer to just make it more interesting. Otherwise, the cracks would just be open all the time. So yeah, it's kind of like a story flag. And so since Thief's Hideout is a required dungeon, it looks like Seb is going to make their way over there again. Or maybe they're just going to go talk to the stylish woman. So Quake is what opens up those cracks that Seb just went into. And so now Seb's back into Hyrule. The stylish woman gives him $100. And Seb's gonna pick up the heart just to get a little extra life. It's only 10 rupees, so. Rasso 2 had a heart container. I think we got a hint earlier about Rasso 1 being junk also. So Rasso is one of the portraits that you can rescue, and so his checks will open up after you get all of his stuff, after you rescue his portrait. And Seb's just grabbing the warp point to Skull Woods, which is another required a portrait dungeon. And it looks like Seb is gonna go bully the Enox. Or no, Seb doesn't have the flippers. So we'll see what Seb is going to do over here. But bullying the Enox gives you 6 checks, so it's a very profitable thing to be mean to the Enox in the randomizer. First, they're gonna fight these guys, the Low Rule Zoras. And it looks like that Seb hasn't picked up a bottle yet, so they don't have a purple potion, which is like a giant AoE attack. And Seb might need sword beams to kill this last coup. Looks like he's gonna try Skull. Oh, there we go. Oh, he missed that throw. Meanwhile, arrows working their way through fighting Yuga. There we go. The coups only gave a small chest, $5. And so it looks like Seb is going to take a merge path over to the Enox. I think there might be one. Maybe not. Yeah, I think they might have thought there was something too. But... Oh, there we go. Now Seb can merge over. Especially with the stamina scroll. And so Arrow just made their way into low rule. So here we're bullying the Enox. 20 rupees. A piece of heart. 40 rupees. 60 rupees. A bigger sword. And so we know Queen Orin has another sword upgrade. So if Seb wants the gold sword, we know where to get it. So I think Seb was hoping for a little more from the Enox, but a sword upgrade isn't the worst. It'll make fights go quicker, for sure. So looks like Seb is gonna finish up the sanctuary and then probably go into the low rule graveyard sanctuary area where there are a handful more checks. It looks like that was just a vanilla piece of heart. The tempered sword will make quick work of those guys. So here we can see Seb is going to make their way into the low rule graveyard. And that's a big chest, so Seb will want to play through the low rule sanctuary area. Also worth noting, neither of our runners have found Bow of Light yet, which is required in order to beat Yuga-Ganon. Ooh, and so another bit chest here. That's Master Ore. So Master Ore is another trade quest kind of item. You'll need 2 of them to give to the Hyrule blacksmith, and he'll give you something. And then you need another 2 to give to the low rule blacksmith, and he'll give you something. I think we saw a hint earlier that the low rule blacksmith one was junk, but we still might need at least 2. That was fixed now, so Bow of Light doesn't crash the game anymore. So here we have Seb fighting a different set of Igors than Arrow just fought. And in typical fashion, you pull the right switch in Hyrule instead of the left switch. So Seb's gonna see what this chest is. And it's a bug net. Not what Seb was looking for. Although Seb hasn't found that much health yet, so they might want to catch some fairies when they have some bottles. So it looks like now Seb is just going to go into Skullwoods. And it looks like Arrow decided not to finish out Thief's Hideout either. So both of our runners are avoiding finishing Thief's Hideout since they don't have the flippers. That's why they were doing that. I forgot about that. But Arrow's gonna find their own Quake. And so Seb does have everything that he needs in order to beat Skullwoods, so he'll play through that. Skullwoods is the least profitable dungeon to play through check-wise. There's a lot of small keys, and so I think there's only 3 possible chests for non-dungeon items in Skullwoods. So it's not great, but it's required. It's a portrait dungeon, so you got to do it. And fortunately, Seb does have the Tempered Sword, so the Knuckle Master fight will go fairly quickly. And AeroRaiser died by accident, maybe. I don't know if that was a death warp. Oh. The overworld enemies in Hyrule do hit really hard, as we said earlier, so it is definitely possible to accidentally die. Apple Queen, welcome back. It's nice to hear from you. I hope you're doing well. So that was a big chest over there, so Seb's gonna need to go around and grab that. The bombs, that's an excellent thing to find. Skullwoods became so much more worth it just from that. Lots of pain. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. But the bombs will open up a lot of overworld checks, and they're just also very useful to have. And Arrow going to their own bully time. They're just going to get a Tempered Sword from this, though. And so then, like I said earlier, we know where the next sword upgrade is. It's on Queen Orin, and they do have the Smooth Gem, so they could potentially grab that. It's not marked for Arrow, but I'm pretty confident that they have it. So it looks like that's also a big chest. They don't have the big key yet, so it's likely to be the big key. But it could be something else also. I think there's one more small key at least that they need. Yeah, so a small key. Seb's gonna void out so that they can teleport over to the other side. And it looks like Arrow's also thinking about Skullwoods. And so, if they do go into Skullwoods, they'll be happy to find the bombs for sure. And so, this is a normal glitchless tournament, normal logic, and no glitches allowed. So, there's no eyeball duplication glitches here. There's a big chest there. That's most likely the big key. Well, I guess the eyeball was also a big chest, so it's another progression item. And the portrait for Skullwoods we saw on Seb's stream very briefly was Osphila. And so Osphila unlocks an item in Ravio's shop. But I think when our runners checked what it was, I think it was a purple rupee. Ooh, and Seb found the super lamp. The super lamp, unironically, a very broken item, mainly in the final boss fight. It does as much damage as a fully upgraded Master Sword, but it causes Yuga-Ganon to not teleport nearly as much. So that'll be very nice for Seb to have to more quickly get through the Yuga-Ganon fight. Oh, and the boomerang, unfortunately, is not grabbing that. That was interesting to try though. You can use the hook shot to grab it, so I think that's what Seb was trying to think of there. The eye does not want to go in. There we go. So here will be the big key, and then Seb can go and fight Knuckle Master. Yeah, the super lamp is honestly like the strongest weapon against Yuga-Ganon. And it does do a lot of damage, it just doesn't have a lot of range. And it's a little slower compared to the Master Sword. So, I don't know. There's its pros and cons for sure. Oh, and looks like Seb is using the lamp to fight Knuckle Master. I like this. It's dealing some extra damage, and so hopefully there'll be less phases of Knuckle Master that you have to go through. Yeah, so you can tell from the sound effect that Seb is using the super lamp instead of the tempered sword. So it looks like at least one more cycle here. The super lamp is amazing because it's super. I also agree with that. There we go. Seb probably got it done in one cycle faster, maybe. Knuckle Master's just giving a monster tail. AeroRaiser is going to make the shortcut, just in case they get grabbed or something. It's useful to have. And we have our first portrait after almost an hour in, getting Osphila. Yeah, the AeroRaiser's tracker is missing a column. I noticed that earlier also. I don't think there's a way for B to fix that. Let me see actually if I can ping someone. So Seb's gonna go check out this treasure dungeon, see if there's anything here. I'm assuming that was a small chest. Seb is using the fire rod to make the bomb blow up faster. Love to see that. And so this guy wants a scoot fruit, so Seb has an unlimited supply of them. That's something also unique with the randomizer compared to the vanilla game. Once when you have a scoot fruit, you just have it forever. And now Seb finds the flippers, which is amazing. So now Seb can do House of Gales, which is a portrait, as well as Thief's Hideout. And also get to Turtle Rock. The flippers basically lets Seb do whatever they want. Except go into Swamp Palace, because they need the hook shot for that. But it looks like they're going straight to House of Gales. The Scoot Fruit is an item that you buy from the shop, and it lets you leave dungeons. Like, go back to the entrances of dungeons when you use it. So it's actually really handy to have, for sure. But in the original game, you only have a limited supply of them. So you have to buy, like, X amount from the shop. But in the randomizer, you buy it once and you have it forever. And it looks like a volunteer was able to fix the AeroRaiser's tracker. Thank you very much for doing that. That is the B badge. Arrow found that in Eastern Ruins. The B badge doesn't really do anything. It basically means that if you find a bee by like cutting some grass, the bee will attack enemies for you instead of attacking you. So it's a junk item. Yeah, a quality of life thing. Well, if you find a bee in the wild with the bee badge, the bees will also fight for you. But it is also useful if you catch a bee in the bottle and release the bee when you want it to fight for you. So, Arrow's going into their own Knuckle Master fight. We'll see if they're going to use the same Super Lamp strategy or just go with the sword. Yeah, they were using the Super Lamp also. Love to see the Super Lamp representation from both runners. I'll be honest, Apple Queen, I have never released a bee during a boss fight, but I might try it sometime to see what happens. My guess is yes, that the bee would just go and try to fight the bosses. So, AeroRaiser taking Knuckle Master down. Seb barely making it through the crack there to get into the mini boss room of House of Gales. So it looks like AeroRaiser is going to do some of the checks around Skullwoods. They don't have a bottle, so they can't get a golden bee from the mysterious goth guy. But they can get this piece of heart, which is actually $20. And then this mini boss is very annoying to fight. Or this room, it's technically not a mini boss. And AeroRaiser picking up some more Mai-Mais. This will be their 5th Mai-Mai. I'll be curious to see what they want to upgrade. My guess is bombs or ice rod, but we'll see. Seb grabbing the big key. And so now Seb can go into the boss room and fight Margot Mill. That was close. AeroRaiser's going to be disappointed when they find out that that big chest was a net. It's very surprising that none of our runners have found a bottle. I think there are 5 bottles in the game. And so it's usually common to find at least a couple of them. And so the Tempered Sword making quick work of Margot Mill, Margot's stack of pancakes. Little far away to catch Margot in the thing, but Tempered Sword makes quick work of Margot Mill here. And I don't think Seb really found anything useful here besides a portrait. We'll see what the heart piece is here, but some monster guts. But Seb did get Queen Oren, which we know is the final sword upgrade. So that'll be definitely tempting to grab. Oh, and these Igors are beating Arrow up quite a bit, but the Arrow's down to 1 heart. I think there's only 1 Igor left, though, so if he's careful, there we go. Cleared him out. Arrow also has almost 2,500 rupees, so they're only 500 away from the Great Rupee Fairy. So if they wanted to upgrade their tunic, they could possibly do that. And Arrow's going to be able to get this check, which Seb wasn't able to get earlier, because Seb didn't have bombs when they did the Low Rule Graveyard area. Oh, they're going back. Okay, they just messed up. And now Seb is going to go into Turtle Rock. Seb is close to go mode. They are missing the Bow of Light is the only thing currently. And then they also need the hook shot for Swamp Palace. Tower of Hera is on the path to Darkstair. That's interesting. I think Tower of Hera only had the stamina scroll. Oh, and Seb also has the bee badge. You could see the bee fighting some of the enemies there. Seb just didn't mark it on the tracker. The regular bow is not required for really anything. It's a ranged weapon that does a lot of damage, but you don't need it to beat any dungeons or use the Bow of Light or anything. Probably some key on the scroll chest. That makes sense also. I'm pretty sure you could fight bosses with the bees. If anyone here knows the answer, I feel like it would be Rick with an H in the chat. Oh, I've never thought of fighting these guys that way before. Alright, so there's the big key. Oh, it doesn't work for Yuga-Ganon. That's interesting. B only playthrough. I'm not sure if the B only playthrough is possible, but maybe. We'll find a category extension speed run for that. B%. Some more monster guts. So Arrow's going into House of Gales now. Meanwhile, Seb is warping around in Turtle Rock, grabbing all these checks. Seb also almost has 2,500 rupees, so the possibility of them going to the Grey Rupee Fairy for that tunic is very likely. Since they are still stuck with just the green mail, and not the most life. So we saw Seb equip the bombs. The bombs are very useful for killing a couple of the whiz robes in this area. I was thinking that they might have preemptively went into that room before the whiz robe actually died. And it looks like Seb is going to grab this little chest. I'm not sure if I would have bothered with that, but... Seb's gonna come back to that later. Go and hit the switch over here instead. AeroRaiser having trouble with that switch. Maybe they... We'll see if what they end up using to hit it. You could use the ice rod, bombs. And Seb's not going to grab that little chest. They're going to make their way right into the boss room. The platform Seb's on might... Okay. I was gonna say, I think it was close timing-wise if the platform would disappear or not. And now Seb's gonna go fight Big Turtle. Oh. Arrow forgot that they need to be up higher before they do that. Seb nicely dodging the bites there. And then making quick work of Grinex. You joined the speed server. Very nice. I love to hear that. There's a server for the randomizer also, if you're interested. And here's Gully. Gully is one of the few portraits that doesn't unlock any checks. But still required to find him. So now Seb's gonna go and finish out Thief's Hideout. Is AeroRaiser all right? Oh no, I thought he was just standing still for a moment. I wasn't sure. I think it was just a cutscene. There's a big chest over there. So that could be the big key, or it could be something good for Seb. Blue mail. All right, so we have the blue mail now, and we know that the oh, you left the thief girl behind. She was scared of the bat. That the red mail's on the Great Rupee Ferry, which on Seb's stream, Seb is 300 rupees away from there. From that. Meanwhile, AeroRaiser is going in to fight Margot Mill. There's another big chest over there. Still could be the big key, but could also be something else. The big key. And then I think the vanilla big key chest was also a large chest, so... I would say that Seb is ahead currently. Seb's completed 3 portraits, 3 dungeons with portraits, and Arrow is about to get their second. So, Seb is about a dungeon ahead. You can see on the trackers on the bottom row is the portraits. And so they'll need to get all 7 portraits to get to Hyrule Castle to fight Yuga-Ganon. It must have been a small chest up there because Seb is not getting it. I'm just misremembering that. And so Stall Blind is interesting. For some reason, the hammer is super effective against him. So here we'll see Seb using the hammer. Nice job canceling the attack there. Didn't get the second time, but that's okay. So very fast phase 1. Seb can take these hits because Seb has the blue mail now, so. And then quickly going into the next phase. A couple more hammer smacks. Boom. Aero did get the stamina scroll. It's at least marked on their tracker. But Aero's going to go and get the fully upgraded sword. So that extra damage may come through and help them get through some dungeons faster and catch up. Oh, no worries. So now Seb's getting the Impa portrait. We know from earlier that the check that Impa unlocks is dead, so we won't be following up on the Hyrule Castle throne. I'll take it as a compliment that you've only been listening to audio only so that you know mostly what's going on. Just from me commentating. But, alright. So, I'm guessing Seb is going to go towards Death Mountain in order to get to the ice ruins. Seb is still missing the hook shot, which he will need for Swamp Palace. And then also the Bow of Light, which you need to defeat Yuga-Ganon. No, that makes sense. We appreciate you hanging out still. Oh, so that's a big chest, so Seb will need to go and do the treasure dungeon. I forgot that Desert Palace is also required. They've had the Sand Rod and Titan's Mids for a while, so they've been able to do Desert Palace for a while, but it looks like Seb is just getting to it now. And then this dungeon can be a little tricky if you haven't done it for a while, so we'll see how Seb does. There we go. And so you'll activate the switch here, and then do a similar kind of thing. Meanwhile, Aero is making their way through Thieves' Hideout. And they'll be happy to find a blue tunic there, for sure. And the Pegasus boots. That's great that Seb found those. Since there are still 3 dungeons left, there's still plenty of game, and Seb will be able to get through them just a little bit faster now. assuming they won't bonk constantly. And so Seb is going to grab the one check that's over here before going into Desert Palace. Another heart container. The Philosopher's Cave had a net. We already found out about that. And it looks like Seb is going to use the long merge here. I think this is only possible with the stamina scroll. It lets you skip going through a bunch of different cracks and everything. Kakariko goes on the path to Margot Mill. And it looks like the Seb ran out of stamina there. And so he wasn't able to fully finish the thing there. So now Seb's going into Desert Palace. Checking that chest. It was a small chest, so we'll be able to just skip that whole area later. Seb avoiding that button. So they're not getting the shortcut, but they avoided the cutscene. It's a little time save. The ball there was bouncing perfectly in between the door and the wall there, making it easy for Seb to hit. So that is a big chest, so Seb will need to go over here and get the sand. The jellyfish is gonna get in their way. And Arrow's fighting Stallblind now. We'll see if they use the hammer strats. They have the gold sword, so it's not as necessary, but the hammer still honestly might be faster. The jellyfish are they're annoying in this game, definitely. Especially some of the big jellyfish mini bosses, like they make you bounce far back, and so it's just they're just the jellyfish are always annoying. Almost as annoying as these tile rooms that are just like slow and long, but I've complained about these tile rooms enough, I think, while I'm commentating, so I won't say any more. And Aero getting their third portrait, grabbing Impa. So Aero does have the 3,000 rupees that they need for the red mail if they want to go and upgrade it. And so Aero could go and do Desert Palace themselves, or they could go and do the what is it called? I'm blanking. Turtle Rock. But it looks like they are gonna go and get the the red mail. So now they'll be very strong and likely not to die. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Okay, I like this. Seb is just skipping that part and to only grab that chest. Oh no, I'm not sure if they actually need to go through and do all this. Oh no, they need to get the chests. Never mind. But they don't need to do this little mini area where you raise the sand up. But they're gonna grab the chests in here and then leave, presumably. The hint glasses. It's a junk item currently. The hint glasses are what turn on the ghosts that you've been seeing around. If you wear them, then there'll be ghosts and they'll give you hints in the vanilla game. But we just have the hints on all the time, and we give different hints, obviously, than the ghosts do in the original game. So it looks like Aero's also heading over to Desert Palace now. They're better equipped than Seb for it. They have a gold sword and the red mail, but Seb is still ahead by at least one, like a dungeon and a half at this point. And still no sign of any bottles from either runner. It's very surprising. Seb played this room nearly perfectly, in my opinion. Oh, it's still definitely possible for them to catch up. I wasn't saying that. Like I said earlier, they do have a better sword now, so theoretically they can kill the enemies in this dungeon faster. So that could end up mattering, but... So, yeah, it's still definitely possible for Aero to catch up. Oh, Seb forgot to turn on the sand first. And so now Seb is going to fight Zaganaga. I'm never sure if I'm saying the name right. Definitely not too hard of a boss. What boss is the hardest other than Ganon? Dark Stare does a lot of damage. So if you don't have a lot of health, and only a green tunic, Darkstare could pretty easily kill you. Knuckle Master is the most annoying to fight, just because it takes a long time. Yeah, Snake is also a good name for Zaganaga. And it looks like the Sand Bridge did not finish making. It is possible to like barely get on the corner of the platform and stand there and keep hitting Zaganaga instead of falling down. But it's a little tricky to do. Yeah, I would say Darkstare is probably the hardest just because of how much damage Darkstare does. And so Seb is going to get Ceres for this. Oh, and there's the Bow of Light. So Seb just needs the hook shot, and then Seb will be in go mode. The big snake gave the Bow of Light, so thank you. Desert bows, exactly. I'm trying to... I know we've seen an Argus hint, but I can't remember what it was. It might have been Eastern Ruins is on the path to Argus. And in Eastern Ruins, they found the B badge. I can't remember what else. The B badge is definitely not the thing. Yeah, if Arrow is able to find the hookshot before Seb, that could definitely give them a big lead. But it looks like Seb is going to make their way to Low Rule Death Mountain. They're going to fight some ice schemos, and then there's a ledge chest that they could also look at. They're opting to use the sword instead of the fire rod. But, alright. Small chest, not what we were looking for. That's a big chest, though. And it's just a special charm, which is a junk item. Now, I think Seb's going to check out the Pegasus Pyramid. Small chest. They're going to get out of here. The special charm doesn't do anything. It makes you feel special. It's just like one of those weird items where the Pendant of Courage is split into two different items. And so there's the special charm, which is what Zelda gives you. And then there's the Pendant of Courage itself. But yeah, the special charm doesn't do anything. Should make all junk spawn bees. That's an interesting suggestion. Just have bees all over the place. And Seb must have forgot that Impa was junk. So. But they're gonna go double check. But I'm pretty confident that Impa was junk. Yeah. So now Seb also has enough for the Great Rupee Fairy. Maybe that's why they went to grab that chest. Yeah, there's a lot of money in this game floating around. So it's pretty easy to get a big pile of money. But the runners kind of want a big pile of money this time in particular for the super net. But the Great Rupee Fairy wants 3,000 rupees total, and so when you give her that in the randomizer, it's how much is it? I'm blanking. It's the blue mail. It's a mail upgrade. And Seb never finished Eastern Palace, apparently, so they're gonna go back and play through this. We, unfortunately for Seb, know that the hookshot doesn't lie here. I think AeroRaiser finished this dungeon. Maybe. Eastern Palace isn't required, but there are a lot of checks behind Yuga that they could potentially get. So it looked like it was a small chest over there. If you do the Pegasus dash there, you do need to be careful not to just fly off the edge. Is there half magic in this game? There isn't magic necessarily, but there is the stamina meter. So your items use stamina meter instead of like having charges. Like your bow doesn't have arrows; it uses a little bit of stamina meter, and then each item uses a different amount of the stamina meter. So there we're reminded of the Great Rupee Fairy. Some monster guts. Yeah, if you get the stamina scroll, then you get more stamina. Well, it's interesting because the items use like it's based on a percentage. So, like, you do get more stamina, but also, like, I don't know. It doesn't make that big of a difference, in my opinion. It's mainly useful for merging. Seb can do the ice ruins right now, but they basically the two dungeons left that they need to do are Ice Ruins and Swamp Palace, and they can't do Swamp Palace without Hookshot. But they just found the Hookshot. Okay, so Seb is now in go mode. We'll see if they decide to do Ice Ruins or... Okay, yep, they're going up into Ice Ruins. And then after that, they can go into Swamp Palace. So this is a long auto-scroller part, so I'll probably be paying attention to AeroRaiser working their way through Desert Palace. Yeah, it's going to be tough for Aero, but we'll see. Comebacks are definitely possible. Oh, I also did that the other day, so I don't feel as bad now about that. It's very easy to accidentally be a little eager and run off the edge there. So, Arrows making their way with the big snake. And these little flying guys are bullying him. And so, Seb just went through the first part of the auto-scroller. And soon we'll be going through the second part. So, AeroRaiser are going to find their own bow of light here. And rescue Ceres. So now I'm guessing Arrow's probably going to do Turtle Rock. They might do some overworld checks though first. No, it looks like they're going right to Turtle Rock. Oh no, they have the 10 Mai-Mais. Let's see what they're going to upgrade. Ice Rod would make sense since they need to go into Turtle Rock. Yeah, there we go. So the upgraded Ice Rod, it gives you 4 ice quadrants to drop. I can't think of the term for it. It drops 4 like chunks of ice instead of just 1. So it has a much bigger AoE and will make Turtle Rock a little easier. Oh. And so, Ice Ruins, the enemies here do a lot of damage. And because Seb opened the little chest, that spawns these guys. So, Ice Ruins can be a little scary. Like I said, Dark Stare, the boss does a lot of damage, but also just the enemies in general do a lot. And then there's these penguins that they can be kind of annoying. AeroRaiser getting done saving the turtles and catching a ride, and accidentally running off the front of them. So now they're gonna have to wait for the turtles to swim around in a circle again. Seb will be happy for that heart piece. Fill him back up. I think it gave him an extra heart container as well. Seb doesn't have a potion or a fairy. None of our runners have found any bottles yet, which is wild. There are 5 bottles in the game, and so it's kind of crazy that I don't think any of them have found a bottle. Oh, the stamina scroll there is necessary. We'll see if Seb voids out here to, there we go, get back to the other side faster. There's our first bottle. So Seb could use the bottle now and catch a fairy. Just to have the extra life. Bottle is in a big chest. And so in this randomizer with the settings on, a bottle also gives you a purple potion, which is like a full screen AoE attack. That does as much damage as a Great Spin. And so it's actually pretty useful to have. It can clear out some like mini boss rooms and rooms where there's tough to reach enemies and stuff like really easily. So here we'll see the long merge. This is the only check in the game that the stamina scroll is required for. There's no other way that you can get this check. And it has the big key. So Tower of Hera was required, so it's pretty convenient that both of our runners decided to do Tower of Hera, even though it's a pendant dungeon. And here we can see AeroRaiser making great use of the nice ice rod to quickly go through that lava room. And it does look like Seb is going to have to fight the mini-boss. They don't have the small key, so they weren't able to skip it. Usually, it's pretty easy to be able to just skip this. And this mini-boss is, can just kind of... The penguins can just quickly kill you, but Seb was able to make it through it. They have plenty of health and a good sword. This area is terrible. It's a big pain to go through. We'll see how Seb decides to conquer it. Purple potion? Love it. So there we see the purple potion in work. If they would have played through the dungeon and realized that they couldn't get the big key, and so then they would have to go leave the dungeon and come back. But fortunately, the hint ghost did say that Tower of Hera was on the path to Darkstair. So our runners had a hint that Tower of Hera was important for something. And it looks like Seb is thinking about grabbing a fairy. They equipped their bug net, so they're going to run over here to the little fairy fountain. There we go. Seb is feeling much happier and safer now. Yeah, Moldorm had it. So Seb's making their way into Darkstair now. They're pretty well equipped for a Darkstair fight, so I don't think it should be too much trouble. Oh, they're accidentally hitting the bug net. I feel like Seb's trying to re-traumatize me from when I was trying to kill Darkstair with the bug net the other day. I would not recommend it. There, Seb makes quick work of Darkstair. This will get them their 6th portrait. It'll either be Irene or Rosso. We know Rosso doesn't have anything. I'm not sure if we got a hint about Irene, but she doesn't have anything we need. Oh, and here's another bottle. So 2 of the bottles were in Ice Ruins. So now it's just Swamp Palace, and then Seb will be able to go through and go to Yuga-Ganon. Our runners did have to find Quake in low rules. They had to beat Hyrule Castle Yuga, which means that they can basically skip low rule castle and go straight to Yuga-Ganon as a consolation prize. In a vanilla game you would, because you would grab a heart container from the boss. But in a randomizer, you don't always get a heart container or a piece of heart or something from the boss, so you don't always get healed. Bubbles are attacking Seb quite thoroughly. So, if you thought the jellyfish were annoying before, just wait until now. You can play it with an emulator. You can also play it on an actual 3DS if you have an SD card. If you go to the Discord for the randomizer, there's a setup guide on there, and lots of people who will be happy to help. Throws beast at Seb, slow down. I don't think Seb wants to slow down. I think they have their eye on the prize right now. I think the heart piece refills life because that's what Zelda games after A Link to the Past started doing. Like, I'm pretty sure Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and Wind Waker and all those, the pieces of heart refill life, so... I think it's just a difference in how they designed the newer games after A Link to the Past. So, Arrow rescuing Gully, getting their 5th portrait. And Seb got pretty lucky there. Normally those little guys in the shells like to go and poke you while you're trying to hit those levers. So it is possible to skip this mini boss. It looks like Seb is going for it with the boots. Very nicely done. So this is a glitchless tournament, but little tricks like that are allowed, since they're technically not glitches. And there, Arrow found their hookshot, so they are also now in go mode. They swing their sword in happiness. And it looks like they're also going to go up into Ice Ruins and do that first. And Seb still doesn't have the big key, so they're not able to go into the boss yet. They'll need to look through the dungeon a little more. My guess is that the big key is in one of these side rooms. It looks like there was a big chest in here, so that's why Seb is going there. And there's the big key, so now Seb can go right to fighting Argus. And so, since Seb has the Ice Rod, Seb is able to do a fast strat with fighting Argus, at least in the second phase. And it looks like they're planning on doing that. They got their Ice Rod equipped on their second slot. Nice job there, grabbing 2 eyes at once, so you can hit 2 at the same time. And they weren't using the Ice Rod strat correctly, but they still made very quick work of Argus. Nicely done. When Argus starts to jump up, you can hit him with the Ice Rod to knock him back down, and then hit him 2 more times, and you can kind of do that over and over again. And so now with this last portrait, Zeb will be able to go right into Lowrule Castle, skip the castle, actually, and fight Yuga-Ganon. We see Seb equipping the super lamp, getting ready for the Yuga-Ganon fight. And I believe Seb also has a fairy in storage, so just in case things go wrong. Yuga-Ganon is definitely beating them up right away. Yuga-Ganon is not happy about the super lamp being used. But as you can see, that was the first time. Okay. Seb died. But like I said, they had the fairy, so they'll get a second chance. Seb doesn't have the Hylian shield, which is normally pretty useful to block Yuga-Ganon's attacks. Seb will need to play more defensively in order to block Yuga-Ganon's attacks thoroughly. And Yuga-Ganon brutally is doing this attack again. Yeah, so in this game there's the super lamp, and it's unironically one of the strongest weapons against Yuga-Ganon. So there we go. Seb killing Yuga-Ganon. So now in the second phase, Seb will need to play 3 rounds of energy tennis, and then also dodge some fairies or butterflies, whatever they are. And that could be the scary part, because the fairies do a lot of damage. So Seb will need to be careful not to get hit, because I don't think they have another fairy. Oh my gosh, Zelda. The Hylian shield after the first phase of Yuga-Ganon? That is so rude. Oh my gosh. Like, Zelda, why couldn't you give us that before? Really is a troll move. Nicely done. Seb job dodging the first phase of the butterflies. Oh no, they got hit? They have 1 heart left? Oh, they died. Alright. They're gonna go back, continue from the dungeon. My guess is... I'm assuming that this time they're gonna go and pick up some fairies. I think they have 2 bottles, so they can get 2 fairies. And they have the Hylian shield this time. Also very convenient. Oh, he's even gonna go grab the red mail from the fairy. From the Great Rupee Fairy. But having the Hylian shield this time for the first phase will be a lot more useful than when Zelda originally gave it to him. I think that is probably like the most rude item that Zelda could give you, now that I'm thinking about it. And Seb feels comfortable enough with the red mail to go at it. Between the red mail and Hylian shield, Seb, I think, should have this pretty down. So there we can see already the Hylian shield making the fight much easier. Yeah, we can see already how much easier this is for Seb. There we go. Seb killing Yuga-Ganon easily, not getting hit once. We'll see how the second phase goes. Now the fairies only do a half a heart though, instead of a full heart. So... Oh, this is gonna be interesting. I wonder what it's gonna show Zelda giving him now. Okay, just the Hylian shield again. If he had 2 shields now, that would be interesting. Double equipped Hylian shield. But Seba being careful and patient with the fairies here. Using some iframes to avoid a big smash of them. And Arrow was missing the torch there, but they got it at the end. Meanwhile, Seb is dodging the second phase of butterflies. Seemingly perfectly. Oh, they got hit there by the wall. But all right, and from here, Seb just literally has to mash the sword button. There we go. He just mashes it, hitting the balls back and forth fast. And then one more shot with the Bow of Light against Yuga-Ganon. The slow motion arrow going in. And Pegasus boots charge into Yuga-Ganon to finish him off. Technically not time yet. It'll be time once Link touches the Triforce. So, He's got to go touch the Zelda painting. And then we're skipping some cutscenes. And then after Seb runs down this hall, he can touch the Triforce and get it. Yes, GG's to Seb. Very well played. AeroRaiser also playing well. Wasn't able to quite play through the dungeons as quickly as Seb, I think, was the main difference. But both runners played well. GG's. Let me message Seb see if they would like to come into the booth. And it looks like AeroRaiser might be forfeiting. Their screen is paused. We'll see if they want to play it out or not. All right, Seb's gonna come into the booth. Hello, Seb.
Hello.
Congratulations, GG.
Thank you. It was interesting.
I think that might be the most troll item that Zelda could possibly give.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I entered again thinking, okay, this should be fast, and then I noticed, oh, hey, I don't have the shield, so I don't know how to do this without the shield.
Yeah, it's definitely more tough without the shield. But
yeah,
definitely having the shield for the second round was good.
Yeah, and then I go for the red mail because, okay, just Zelda has the shield, so, okay, I have the shield in hand. So it was kind of late.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
talking about the shield. I was talking about the shield that we were just talking about in the race time room. That's a troll. That's
Yeah,
a funny troll.
it's very rude of Zelda for sure. Also, oh, go ahead.
It's why I rushed the red mail as soon as I had 3,000 rupees. I'm like, well, I was like, all right, I no longer have to open small chest. I'm good with rupees because I didn't have a shield yet, and I was like,
Yeah. There was also there weren't really any bottles, I think, until Ice Ruins.
Ice Ruins. I only got one bottle. Ice Ruins.
Yeah,
Wait.
Dark Stare also ended up giving a bottle also.
I can find out where the other ones were. I am the one who genned this. Hold on, I can find out. I gotta go digging because my stuff
premium milk
buried.
also missing somewhere, but who cares about premium milk, I guess.
Oh,
yeah.
Where was Boots?
In the Sandrod mini dungeon.
That's why I never got him. Well, by the time I did Sand Palace, all I was missing was Hookshot. By the time I got the Desert Battle, I was only missing Hookshot, and I didn't even think to do that that mini dungeon. After I finished Turtle Rock, I'm like, you know what? Let me check these 3 or 4 checks down here at the bottom corner because they're just sitting here and they have been for a while. Oh, Hookshot. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the one.
I think both of you got the items in kind of the same pace. Hookshot was also the main item Seb was missing.
Yeah. I feel like the biggest difference is probably going to be early game because I made a couple of choices early game to see if it would pan out, and it didn't work out. I went to Hyrule Castle before Tower of Hera, but I was like, screw this, I'm not climbing. I'll do everything else first. Yeah. I got punished for that when I got Quake and low roof. Then I'm like, oh, that's a punish.
I mean, you would still have to go to Hera because you needed the stamina scroll for the big key.
That was funny.
Yeah.
After I cleared Hera and got stamina scroll, I'm like, oh, I really hope this is required, else this is a wasted trip.
Yeah,
It ended up being required.
Very
Yeah,
required.
followed the hint that said that Hera was impact to Darkster. Thinking
Also,
it was
nice
gonna be
free
the
bow
hook
of
shot.
light today. We didn't have to go hunting for it.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
nice as a
it's very
dungeon
good.
reward.
Yeah, it was like, oh, that's convenient to not have to go hunting for. And of course, I took the time to get a singular nice item. And of course, it was Ice Rod, so I could just blitz Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
I grabbed it on the way. I was like, cool. That worked out perfectly.
It definitely
Alright.
does make Turtle Rock a lot easier.
I have found... I have retrieved the log. I can find out where our rest of our bottles were. Rosso 1.
Oh, yes. It's a little sad about the hookshot because I think if I go there after House of Gales, I would have been in go mode after doing that. It was like my second dungeon,
Yeah.
so the rest would have been really, really fast.
You wouldn't
Honestly,
have
we
had
should've-
Bow of Light, but
Yeah, we honestly should have had hookshot by the time once we did finish House of Gales. Yeah. Like, as soon as we finished House of Gales, the next thing we should have gotten was hookshot.
Yeah.
did you have
Yeah.
bombs when you, by the time you did House of Gales though? Because
I did.
Otherwise, the piece of heart would be kind of out of the way if you couldn't go get the other check.
I think I did have bombs. Because I got bombs fairly early, I think.
What were bombs?
Bombs were in a dungeon. I can't remember off the top of my head which one.
The last bottle is in Palace of Darkness.
Oh, okay.
Amazing. Yeah, never going there.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
never going there. Not unless pedestal was required, and yet to really see that, so...
Yeah,
Outside
I
of
think
that, we basically
bombs
did
might have
find
been in Thief's Hideout, I think.
it. I think it was.
Oh, in the flood room. Okay, yeah. In the flood chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were there. Okay.
Yeah. I went ahead and rushed Thieves because Thieves is just quick checks at the start as soon as you get into low roll, and I'm like, if Quake's here, it might be here. If Quake's in the area, it might be here. I'm like,
Yeah.
And I get the warp out right at you get the warp out right after because you can't go any further without flippers anyway. Flippers, I think I last location flippers. It took me forever to find them, and by the time I found them, I was like, oh. Speaking of which, you had to get those bombs to get the flippers, which was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was well for Seb to find the flippers also.
I don't remember what the flippers were.
The guy who needs Scoo Fruit.
It's good fruit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you need bombs for that. And I was like, wait a minute, that's
No,
funny.
wait. No.
You know,
Oh
This
no,
was
bombs
one time-
were in Skullwoods then.
oh, Skullwoods.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that-
No,
yeah,
That's
okay.
that's
possible
right.
too.
Okay.
Makes
Now,
sense.
now it makes
As soon as I got Quake, first thing I did was Skullwoods, so...
Yeah, I actually remember that now because I was talking about how Skullwoods kind of sucks for like finding items, but then you found the bombs like as I was saying that, and I was like, oh, never mind.
I
The
was
funny
glad
thing
I
is-
had Red Sword by the time I went in there. But then we found Super Lance, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, Super Lamb made everything kind of trivial. I didn't even go to get the final sword because just by having
I
Super
went
Lamb,
and got it.
kind of redundant.
I went and got it just because it's easier to slice with than trying to use Super Lamp on Janet.
It's like temporary was enough at the moment, so yeah, I just went on.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, GG's again.
Yeah,
He was.
GG's.
This seemed to be pretty close. Like I said, I was only about maybe 15 minutes. I was finishing up Ice Ruins, and then it was just Swamp and Ganon.
Yeah. It was a good race. Thank you both.
Yeah, thank you for doing
and-
comms.
Yeah, and thank you to Speedgaming for hosting the tournament. Shout outs to Matt Cap for organizing the players and everything, and thanks also Rick for developing the randomizer.
Yep. And with this is like this was really good timing because as of recently, A Link Between Worlds has become playable in testing for Archipelago. So I was already like kind of playing a little bit more. I'm like, huh,
Oh
I
yeah.
could de-rust with the tournament. Why not?
Yeah. Glad to
Speaks of
hear.
speaks of de-rust run, it would have been like 2:30 something. I'm like, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, 2:30 is a good time. Well, cool. Well, thank you everyone. I am not sure when the next race is, but
Tuesday. We've got 2 on Tuesday.
okay. Cool.
One at 10 a.m. and one at 3 p.m.
Very nice.
There isn't anything on the schedule after that till Saturday though.
Yeah.
But I've
Cool.
got I think 2 more races I need to get in there. So
Nice. Well, good luck with the rest of the group stages, Arrow.
we'll need them.
I think Seb is done with his matches now.
Yeah.
Didn't Seb go like undefeated or something?
No, I would have gone undefeated if I didn't troll my race against Madcap.
Oh. I was about to say I was looking at the couple of the races that happened so far, and I'm like, all right, so that's the one I'm worried most about. I'm worried about Arrow. I'm worried about a lot of these people, but I'm gonna get beat by Seb. Wasn't by as much as I thought it was gonna be though.
It feels kind of poetic that I did that just when I played against him, but it happened.
Right, GG's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
GG's.
Thanks for
Thanks
everything.
everyone. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye bye. Yeah.
Didn't Seb go like undefeated or something?
No, I would have gone undefeated if I didn't troll my race against Madcap.
I was about to say I was looking at the couple of the races that happened so far, and I'm like, all right, so that's the one I'm worried most about. I'm worried about Arrow. I'm worried about a lot of these people, but I'm gonna get beat by Seb. Wasn't by as much as I thought it was gonna be though.
It feels kind of poetic that I did that just when I played against him, but it happens. Yeah.
All right, GG's.
Yeah, GG's.
GG's.
Thanks for everything.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye bye. Dude. Ok. Cringe Seal. A lo último. Solo por el hookshot. Okay. Now we wait. We want Matt to win everything. So if he goes undefeated, we just move. Bye. Bye bye.